That was fun though. I think Alexis had a lot
really
of fun.
Her birthday is always fun for some
the
reason.
video of you guys that Jesse was
That was
recording,
a
I was
great
like,
video.
record this, and we agreed you guys look like conjoined twins.
I was trying to figure out what we were talking about because I was worried we were talking shit. That's why I kept staring. I was like, oh my God, like what lip reader is going to figure out who we were talking about? And then we realized we were talking about tights.
My favorite part of the video is that she's just so intent on figuring out what you're saying, like just really like to understand.
Your heads were like,
I know.
your noggins were touching.
And then there's a part where we're talking at the same time, which is hilarious because it's like, how on earth? What
but
are they
you're
saying?
listening. You both,
But you're listening.
you
Yeah,
just
you're
know
tapped
that
in.
it's all getting communicated somehow
Through here.
through here.
Well, hi guys, welcome back to Night School. I'm Jessie Zand.
I'm Alana Cloud Robinson.
I'm Isabella Hunter.
Are you? Are you sure?
Are you
I
frazzled?
truly don't
Like,
know. Yeah, like my pigtail's coming out. Like I'm not sure all the hair's in there.
Love it.
Does it look okay?
Yeah,
I
it looks
haven't even
good.
looked in the mirror.
Looks good. Looks really cute.
What if I did like
You should just change your hair throughout the episode, just constantly. So every time
you
it
can
pans
cut
to
back
you.
and forth? Yeah,
I also want to note I'm wearing color for the first time.
it's crazy seeing you in a bright.
Really cute. Speaking of outfits, this episode is sponsored by Funny Girl Vintage. Funny Girl Vintage is your go-to destination for curated designer vintage pieces that'll have you looking and feeling amazing. At Funny Girl, they don't just curate timeless classics, they tailor them with an eye for detail and a passion for unique designer finds. Let's say you're struggling with your own personal style. Feel free to reach out to Funny Girl Vintage for a personal one-on-one style consultation. And guess what?
What?
For our podcast listeners, you can get 10% off when you use the code NIGHT. Yep, that's right. It's a real word. Get 10% off when you use the code NIGHT. That's NIGHT at checkout. And we thank Funny Girl Vintage for sponsoring this episode.
That was amazing.
Oh,
I
thank
know. You have that memorized.
I think I do have it
Whoa.
memorized. Yeah, pretty
I
much
have the
now.
memory of a goldfish. I was just like, I was blown away.
Honestly, all that time,
It took me 10 years to memorize my social security number. That's incredible.
it's, after editing and doing all that, it's pretty hard.
You hear it a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
repetition,
Yeah.
honestly. As an actor, I can say you repeat things and hear them enough times and listen to yourself say them.
And stand up, I think so too. But I found too with stand up lately. Like I went to a mic recently and I got up and I like just riffed like for 5 minutes. I showed Izzy the tape and it was like
It was so good.
it was the most fun I'd had, and it was like one of the better sets I felt like I had, and because it was like I had a kind of a roadmap, but I didn't nothing word for word, and I was like, ugh, I need to just start doing this. But
honestly, I think it works better for you. Yeah. Not that the other way is bad by any means. You're hilarious, but I think the way you move on stage is just like more organic when you're just going
more
from
conversational.
from your
I was talking about
flow
how
state.
I was talking about how I self-harmed and went to Dave & Buster's on Hollywood Boulevard on election night. That was the first date.
That's a crazy time, crazy
You're
thing to do.
again, the agent of chaos over here. Like that is asking for a story.
Yeah. And
The Dave & Buster's in Hollywood, I only went there one time, and I made the mistake of taking a heroic dose of mushrooms. And then I got my period.
Heroic?
Then I got my period at the same time. So
oh,
it was
Oh
a
my word.
really intense experience.
I want to hold your hand.
Yeah.
And like time travel to hold your hand
Yeah,
through
yeah,
that
yeah.
because
That's
that
just
is
so
imagine like
intense.
the lights and the sounds and then just looking down and just seeing blood. It all felt very biblical.
Yeah.
I was like, we're in the end times.
apocalypse
Yeah.
right now.
that's kind
Apocalypse
of
at this
now.
moment.
At the present moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of how the fucking Dave & Buster's on election night felt like.
Yeah.
There's something very dystopian about a Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, it was fun though. I love games. Like I love playing, and I love having dual intention on that one.
I hate games.
I love games.
And dual intent, both.
Yeah.
I hate games.
Play no games.
The only game
Not
I like
with
to
you.
play is Scrabble.
That makes
and
sense. That
chess.
tracks.
Chess and Scrabble. That's
Smart
it.
girl games.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't like.
Scrabble.
I here. Let me preface it. I like games when I'm in control. I don't like
I'm
games
sure
when
you
I'm
do.
not.
I do not like mind games. I do not like group games. I do not like board games. I do not like card games.
Really?
I do not like any of those games. I like solitaire.
Yeah,
And
solitaire.
chess.
You don't like categories? Like I feel like you would love those type of games where
In a
you're like
certain
guessing.
type of group, I do.
Yeah.
But it has to be I have to be really comfortable with the people. I know that sounds insane.
Yeah.
But for
No,
some
it
reason, there's
doesn't.
something so vulnerable because I'm actually like despite being quick with like my references and stuff like that, I'm not very quick on my feet when I'm put on the spot. And with anything that makes me feel remotely foolish, like this is where, you know how like cats get embarrassed?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if a cat falls and they get up and they start licking themselves and then they like are mad at you.
Yeah.
That's how I get playing a game. Like if I'm not doing well in a
Competitive.
game, it's not even competitive. Like I don't need to win. I just don't want to look like a fool.
Yeah.
Like this weird sense of like, this kind of, you know, it gives me like this PTSD of like when I auditioned as a kid. And they're like, now jump around and be goofy. And I was like, I don't do that, sir.
You as a child in an audition would be.
Oh, it was horrific. I think I mentioned this before. A casting director or a acting teacher. He was like, why are you a 40-year-old woman trapped in the body of a 13-year-old?
Good question, sir.
And I said, I'll take that as a compliment. And I never went back.
I mean, it is, but
It's for the best. Child acting is so disruptive to
Yeah.
mind.
it's
Yeah.
not a good thing.
It's a terrible environment.
I couldn't have been forced into that pipeline if like there was no way.
There was no way.
My friend Emma, shout out Emma, she said something very brilliant once. She said, child actors should be CGI. And I could not agree more.
Yeah.
It's not a place for a child.
No, it's
My dad
not.
brought me to set when I was little, and that's how I learned that you could curse at work some places.
Yeah.
And that
Even the scenes they've talked about, even the psychology of like when they force a child to cry by like the little kids, like the babies, where like they need them to cry for a scene where like the mom is leaving or something. And, like they've talked about there's like trauma from those children being or like seeing things or in like a horror movie and there's a child crying and it's like they're experiencing that as a trauma.
Yeah. This is part of their memories now.
Yeah.
They're too
Yeah,
young to
exactly.
distinguish.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
I purposefully don't write anything that, like, if there's children in my script, it's like for humor. Like they're saying something silly and funny. It's never intense.
Yeah.
No crying, no anger, nothing.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. Okay. I have another question for you guys. How has your view on love evolved over time, if at all?
That's a good question. I can shoot this one off. I think I've learned that love is acceptance, and it's also has so much to do with oneself, and you can never force anyone to love you back the way you love.
yeah.
That's what I've learned.
I would agree with that. You cannot force somebody to love you back. And that it's such a simple thing and it's something that's repeated so often. But in the words of RuPaul, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? It's very
So
true.
true.
Like
So
you
true.
and you really it's we all know this intellectually, but that thing that we do where we try to get someone to love us so that to make up for the lack of love we have for ourselves is a fool's errand and results in a lot of pain and a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
And I agree also that acceptance is really important. You know, I think relationships are important because they help people to grow and change. Like I'm one of those people, like I advocate now. People always say like, you know, on the heels of like a really horrible heartbreak, like you need to be alone. For some people that's true. But I also do believe that a really good relationship can be the thing that heals you. I don't think
Definitely.
you have to heal alone. Like that's often like what's kind of the narrative is like you
Yeah.
have to heal by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I believe that you absolutely can, someone can facilitate your healing. You're going to do it, but like the person can set up the sort of container for you to heal.
And I think too, when
agree.
when the relationship starts out as friends, like that's the foundation of the relationship that heals is a friendship.
Or as close to that as
Or
you
as
can,
close to
you
that
know.
as it can be.
Yeah.
Like when that foundation of that relationship that heals you is so strong and built off friendship, I think that's the most healing part of it is that like so often in these relationships that you get so whipped up about, it's like you're mourning the loss of like what could have been or a side of them that you saw that it wasn't there or what you wish they were like. And it's like when you find that relationship after that that's built on friendship, there's a common respect and understanding and getting to know the other person. And I think that's really healing.
I think that's something that's like almost like a dark side of the sort of automated girl boss culture, I think.
Totally.
Is
Certainly.
like that where it just everything gets reduced like a slogan or a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to
If
that.
you're seeking, here's the thing, is like if you're seeking repetitive, if you keep ending up in relationships over and over again and kind of moving through people, then sometimes there's a signal that you need to like chill. But if something finds you that feels right, like that thing that everybody does where it's like, no, I'm not ready, I just got out of something. I think that's such a mistake.
Yeah.
If you know yourself and you know that you're not ready to like be available for somebody, then that's different. But if you are feeling called and compelled to it, but you have this idea that like, I need to go into the darkness and heal by myself, I'm like, let them heal you.
I think I used to equate stability with boredom and instability with excitement. Now I see it differently. There's a difference. There's also a difference between dating, like that idea of like dating for potential versus meeting someone where they're at. I think I oftentimes would date for potential or get in relationships with people for potential or because they were stable and I felt like they would never leave me. But now I think that I see love as more of a journey and less about like a destination or a quick evolution of someone that you're like, hoping that potential kind of transforms them.
I think that's back to the acceptance thing. That's totally, not expecting someone to like change just because they should or can.
Yeah.
Accepting people for who they are. Just like we want to be accepted for who we are.
Yeah. And it's taken me to a little bit recently. I've noticed like that sometimes like you feel that like attraction and you feel that spark with somebody. And like, I think for a long time, I equated that with like this sexual attraction, but it was actually just danger.
Ooh.
And it was actually just like emotional unavailability. And that's what I was attracted to. And that's what I felt was so intriguing. And now I'm having to
chase.
Yeah, to chase. And now I'm having to really rewire and be like, oh, wait, like this person checks all these boxes. Just because I'm not feeling danger doesn't mean I'm not actually attracted to them. Yeah. Maybe it actually takes me a second to like become attracted to someone because I am them being funny and me getting to know them. Like that is what builds the attraction for me. I don't really typically date guys that are, like I've said, I date like guys who look like they walk into a room and they're like, like weirdos. Like, so it's like, obviously I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I'm blown away. Like it's the intrigue behind the weirdo that I'm interested in. So obviously off top, I'm not going to be like magnetically sexually attracted to them. And typically if I am, it's because they're fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a mistaken, I think it's like equating lust with something beyond that.
Yeah.
And thinking like, oh.
Sometimes it's not even lust. I think that's part of it too. It's like,
totally.
As you said, danger. Sometimes it's literally just, or someone withholding and kind of like giving you the runaround.
Getting that validation from them is like a high.
Yeah.
I've been there. Trust me.
And then you get there and you go, that's what you have to offer?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Take it or leave it.
As Alana put it the other day, I will be no one's fuck mop.
Sometimes the word of God comes through me.
Fuck mop.
In his mouth out your mouth.
Yeah. My ears and out of my mouth. Yes.
Fuck mop is the funniest thing.
I've never
I can't
heard
stop
that.
saying it either. Too.
That
like,
must have been a channel. From
It
God.
was a channel. It was a channel. I blacked out. I remember saying it. Fuck mom.
Fuck mom.
I'll just be walking. Like I was walking my dog the other day, and I just was like, "Man, fuck mom!" Like it's so funny.
No one deserves to be.
No one deserves to be a fuck mom.
No one deserves to be a fuck mom.
It's 2024, ladies. Even if you're not like a full-on feminist, you're not a fuck mom.
No,
you're not a fuck mom.
No, and if you're listening to this podcast, you are not a fuck mom. Let me tell you that right now. You are not. No bitch of mine, no bitch of my night school is gonna be a fuck mom. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week.
No.
We ride at dawn.
Agreed.
Recently had to fucking say how I feel, and that was really fucking hard. But Alana coached me through it, and after I did that, I felt so free. Felt so free.
It's such a good feeling. It's truly like a weight off your back to get.
Yeah.
But I also too, and I was talking about this last night, and I don't think I've talked to you about this yet. you kind of hit on it when we were talking, but it was like, there's a difference between saying, here are my feelings. You have to either do something about it or let me walk away, versus I feel this way. I know you don't. So I'm going to walk away and say, fuck you. And I think I always did the latter. Even though I knew the answer when I did the former.
Yeah. Well, the latter is like you're hoping for like the movie moment where they grab your arm and they say, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
versus like being more direct and upfront and saying like, there are actually 2 pills in my hand. Blue pill, you go back to sleep. We're not together. And I leave and I tweet things about you secretly. Red pill. Let's fuck.
Which pill is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you take both pills.
I was just vulnerable and I'm handing you some pills.
Yeah.
I just told you I'm obsessed with you. Please take these pills.
Or at least one of them.
Yeah.
Both? I don't know.
one of them's Blue Chew. The blue one is
Blue
Blue
pill
Chew.
is Blue Chew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the blue one is Blue Chew.
So you just get a boner.
Wally says I'm not into you.
He goes back to sleep.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. And vulnerability is good too.
Yeah, very.
Because you really can't. This has been an interesting topic of conversation this past week in a lot of different ways for me. But with vulnerability in relationships, you cannot expect it without giving it.
You cannot
like-
expect vulnerability in relationships without giving it. Okay.
Yes. Imagine, like, think about like female friendships. This is what I was thinking about recently.
Yes.
I've never felt comfortable with a woman who doesn't sort of like roll over and expose her soft underbelly to me.
It's true. When I called you weeping, I was like, this is a real moment for us.
But if you know those girls, like, I'm naturally, and I don't mean that like compulsory, like vulnerability where you tell someone your deepest, darkest secret, almost to,
No.
like get them to level with you.
Yeah.
But like genuine vulnerability is like a thing you can really feel. I think in like relationships between women, I've never been able to connect with women who can't be that, where I can't sense
No,
that
I can't
vulnerability.
either.
it feels off and it feels like I'm being like tricked when someone
Yeah.
can't be vulnerable and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna
Yeah.
use this.
And you can
against
sense
me.
when it's real and you can sense when it isn't real. And
It's
like a really
performative, yeah.
important bind. Yeah. But it feels very like animalistic, like literally like that analogy of like we both have to roll over and be like, you could gut me like a fish right now.
Yeah.
But we won't.
But
We
smell
won't.
my
won't.
privates.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta sniff each other's asses. Be a little real, you know? Otherwise it doesn't work.
No,
it really
it
doesn't work.
No, that's a really good point. And I think in dating, that's really hard because it's like when you're navigating those first initial dates and stuff, like being vulnerable feels really scary, but it sets the stage for what's to come. And if you if you aren't willing to be vulnerable, you're not going to get it back.
No.
And then when and you're not going to get it back when you want it and when it counts
Yeah.
if you aren't upfront about stuff in
Yeah.
the beginning. And I think that's something I learned, and not doing it in a way that's like performative.
Yeah.
Because I think I definitely
Or in a way that's threatening, kind of like
Yeah.
what you're saying before, where
Yeah.
it's like where you
weaponize.
weaponize.
I weaponize my vulnerability.
Your
That's
trauma.
Yeah.
I am
Exactly.
a big weaponizer of my vulnerability. I'm like I open up to you, and men was specifically with
I
women.
used to do the same thing.
Yeah, with
until I
women I
learned.
don't do it, but
Yeah. I used to do the exact same thing. But in general, I think I was doing it a little bit too much with too many people that maybe, because it was like I was doing that thing of like seeking love, like needing to be loved,
Yeah.
you know, in order.
and seeking intimacy through like
Yeah.
like vulnerability that hasn't been necessarily earned by the other
Exactly.
person. I've definitely done that.
So I was
yeah.
doing a lot of that of like, and almost like we've talked about, it's almost in like a love bombing way.
Yeah.
You know, like I've never felt this way before. Yeah, you have. He's not all that special. So I would do that a lot to almost like manufacture vulnerability, to manufacture intimacy
Yes.
between two people. And that's not real. But the times where it was real, I will always stand by that. I think it's the big dick move to be really, if you can be really sincere and you can be really honest, that is the big dick move. You're not a fool for being honest and being vulnerable, for saying, I care about you, or you hurt me, or whatever the truth is.
Yeah.
I think you will always come out having the bigger dick.
You're right. And what you said about like the freedom of that, I think people don't really, you can't feel that freedom until you actually do it. So it's
Yeah.
so scary initially because you're like, oh, I can't.
Yeah. The
Open
worst
up.
thing is regret.
Yeah.
The person in the dynamic who lives with regret. So like, if you don't say something, like when you do say something, you put all your cards on the table, you're like, God, I'm such a fucking idiot. you walk away because the person goes, no, thank you. You walk away. And then maybe some time passes and that person starts going, oh, man, I think I might have fucked up by not giving that a chance. You put all your cards on the table. You have nothing to regret. You have nothing to fear anymore. You gave them
and it
the
helps
full Monty.
expedite the moving on. Like I felt like when I did that with that person, like we hadn't even been intimate or anything, but it was like eating me up, and I just needed to like lay it out and be like, this is what's happening. And as soon as I did it and I got the answer, I was like, we're good. Like my hands are washed clean. Like
Totally, you're not holding and bottling anything in
not
anymore.
bottling anything up. I felt like it was like, okay, I did that. I am free now. I have my answer. I can release, and I'm no longer emotionally tied to this, even though I said how I felt, and it didn't change how I felt, but
I think by holding
not the right
it in,
person.
you are emotionally tied when you're like holding stuff in.
And also, a lot of the time we do it so we can be chill. What's the point of being fucking chill? You want to be a chill girl? Who likes a chill girl?
Snore.
I don't even want a friend who's a chill girl. All my friends are insane.
Yeah.
All my friends are psychotic.
Yeah, I often say like I choose
chill
my best
girls.
friends like I choose my horror movies. I'm looking for the most depraved, psychotic, fucked up thing I can find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Hey.
There we go. Okay, guys, please submit your advice questions. tinyurl.com/night school. We will answer them at the pod.
Say anything, truly. We will.
Okay. I'm a straight woman, but I recently met a woman at work who got me feeling some type of way. She's incredibly attractive, but she's super straight and married. Here's the catch. She's 20 years older than me and keeps joking that she's old enough to be my mother. Once she even bought drinks for me and my friends after work. And she's very touchy when she's buzzed. Oh, and did I mention she's the HR director? I think I might just be turned on by the power dynamic, or maybe I'm discovering some mommy issues I wasn't aware of. She's assertive yet really nice, and I find that ridiculously hot. Sometimes I get myself into trouble just to get her attention, but not enough to get actually fired. What do you all think?
I was waiting for the part where you got stuck in a washing machine.
Jesus. I know, right? I was like, where's this leading?
I don't think you do anything, girly pop. If she's married and super straight, I don't think you do anything.
I mean, maybe like explore your. But if you're single, like maybe you're.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than yearning for a woman. You should quit your job.
Yeah.
And leave. And get divorced. And move.
Is it worse than yearning for a man?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I as a straight woman, I can't really help you. But
same. But I've heard it's worse.
Word on the street.
Word on the street. But yeah, I do think this is your wake up call that you might have some unexplored sexual desires, and you should explore your
Go explore
queerness.
that.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Go be gay, girl.
Yeah, go be gay, girl. Honestly, now it's like we're like being straight is the minority. Like we should be sorry that we're straight.
We're
do you know
edgy
what I mean?
for
Like,
being straight.
Yeah,
like,
no, not even edgy. Like we're lame. Like
yeah, that's true.
we're lame.
Normie,
like, we're normies. Like
no, I think it's actually punk to be straight now.
Or like punk.
It's coming back around.
You're right.
It's coming back around.
It's because it's so
maybe
uncommon.
we shouldn't say it's punk to be straight though right now.
I mean, I think it's fine.
I think the majority of people are on a spectrum, but I think if you feel, I
agree.
you are queer and you're feeling this type of way about this woman, if she's the HR director, definitely do not approach. Stay away.
No.
Maybe quit your job, to Alana's point, but like explore your desires.
Divorce your husband and move to the island of Lesbos, where you belong.
Yeah. That's an option. That's an option.
Indirect approach. Direct approach, be mature. Don't do anything. Have a sense of decorum. Indirect approach, go with it.
You could also just, quit your job, DM her on Instagram, tell her how you feel.
And then if she responds and says, what the fuck is this? You say, I got hacked.
Yeah. It was my ex. He's
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
You have some options here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the number one thing is probably don't act on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't fuck up the workplace situation.
Not in this
that's
economy.
Just
I'll tell you that right now. Job market's
She's
tough.
also and she's also probably just a vessel for like the awakening.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually got
true.
together with this woman, you'd be like, you're horrible.
Exactly.
You're straight. I mean, maybe you guys are both straight women, so maybe
Yeah, you guys would rub fronts and go, not for me.
Rub fronts.
Not for me.
I just imagine two women like, this is how straight I am. Like,
That's how it works.
Really?
You didn't know? That's how it works. So, I've heard.
Okay.
Rub fronts.
I need to get on the internet and research this. Maybe I don't. Scared. Cut
Girls
that.
kiss. Googling girls kiss.
Girls kiss. I remember when I was like 10, I went out to the garage on like my parents' computer and I Googled naked.
That's
Naked.com.
I did the
I was
same.
like, porn.
Well, it's like Odwalla, like the beverage.
Yeah.
Like the Odwalla naked
Yeah.
drinks.
I think I
Like, what are
Googled.
they talking about?
I
don't
heard
get
my
it.
dad on the phone like curse at like some insurance guy. So then I went on his computer and I just wrote in gofuckyourself.com and I got grounded for a month.
A month?
Yeah, because like porn just came up and they were like, what do you think we should make your punishment? I was like such a good two shoes. I was like, ground me.
You're
for
like,
a
take the
month."
computer away forever.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah. And I just remember putting in gofuckyourself.com.
That's really funny.
Which
So
is the
funny.
name of my memoir.
Gofuckyourself.com. That's
I like
good.
that.
Okay, which one of us would get a name tattooed on ourselves? Why or why not?
May I submit my vote?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Izzy. I'm going to go Izzy.
I vote for myself too.
Yeah.
And I literally don't have tattoos, but somehow this is like the right answer.
Because here's the thing. Here's how it goes in my mind. I don't think it would happen with like you just get into a relationship and you're so swept
Yeah.
up. It's more like because of your spontaneity and the thing that you do where you just kind of like make a snap judgment and like do something. I think you would like meet a waiter in Mexico and like you guys would like take off and go on like an adventure on like his sailboat and you'd sail around for a while and you'd come back and you'd be like, look, we got our
Eduardo.
names
Yeah.
tattooed on each other. Yeah.
It's like a beautiful script. So
Yeah.
You can't really you're like, what does that
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a man's name.
Yeah. And you'd be like, and you would be like, I just came back from La Playa.
Oh, I
And you
literally
would be
go
speaking
like,
like Spanglish.
if they get a Mexican man's name on my leg, I'm Latina.
yeah.
Like that is me changing my
You're, yeah.
nationality.
Yeah. But
Race.
I see that the most for you.
Yeah.
Like that's something you would do. But it would not be because you were so swept up in the love element.
agree.
It would be swept up in like the fuck it of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
You know? Like you don't love this man actually.
No.
There's a language barrier. He doesn't even speak English.
No. In
You don't
fact,
speak
I don't think
Spanish.
you would get like the love of your life tattooed on you.
No, I'd be too scared.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that would be a
I think you
curse.
would only
have
do
to
it
be
if
like
it was
a rando.
someone.
This man
Random.
who has a sailboat.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a sailboat.
And
yeah.
literally that was the draw. Like
Yeah.
he met you at a restaurant. He was kind of like
Yeah.
schmoozing. And then he was like, I have a sailboat. And you were like,
I love a sunset.
it. Yeah,
I
you
do
were like,
love
yeah.
a sunset.
Yeah,
I love
a
a sunset.
Yeah.
I am a weak woman for a sunset.
Yeah, I would,
Anywhere.
I
A
would
road
say
trip.
you.
time for the sunrise.
Oh, the sunrise is
sunrise
the best.
girl.
I love the sunrise too. I just never feel like I get up early enough. But the sunrise is actually often better than the sunset.
Magic.
So magic. Those
I
colors.
feel like Alana, you would get like you wouldn't get the name, but like
An
you
initial.
would get like an or a symbol
yeah,
or like
yeah,
something.
like a
absolutely.
matching tattoo
or
with someone.
something.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get a big old like F on my
Frank.
throat.
Yeah.
Frank across your chest
Yeah.
piece. That'd be
I honestly kind of
crazy.
would. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
would.
like you kind of would. Like you, I feel like you, and it would be like in some like script.
You know
Like-
how Hailey Bieber has like a doesn't
Yeah.
she have a J on her like
No,
neck?
I think it's a G.
Oh.
Because it
for
was
who?
it was for this girl who I think who had cancer. I was looking into
I
it
thought it was
because
for
my
Justin Bieber. Sorry.
my
Like, she cannot spell. Damn. Girl.
my
The just sound really tripped her up.
my there's like all this deep
Why is
lore
that
that she
killing
like
me?
copied Selena.
Oh, her tattoo?
Yeah, because they both had like a G or whatever. Because they both can't spell.
I mean, she's what we were talking about in the last episode with
The
the
single
Brianna
white
chicken
female.
fry. Hailey Bieber is like wrote the text on
yeah,
copying
yeah.
an ex.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen TikToks
but you
about
gotta
it.
respect her for securing that bag.
Oh,
I'm
she's
sorry.
I do
like-
have massive respect for
like,
Hailey Bieber.
and then making Road and having it just be as successful as Rare. Like
Do we have numbers on that?
we do. It's neck and neck. It's,
Wow.
It's Rare is more successful, but Road is like
Yeah.
on its ass.
She cleaned up her image too, because there was a moment where the internet like really hated her, and she's cleaned
true.
herself
Hailey?
up. Yeah.
Yeah, she did. I respect it.
Good PR.
Yeah, good PR. I
I
respect,
respect it too.
She's like very much, I wouldn't say a trad wife now, but she's very much like a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Kind of like quieter online.
Yeah.
More like
Which
private.
we love. We love that.
Yeah.
And I love somebody I love the concept of single white femaling. I only single white female the men I've dated.
I've done that too.
I borrow
yeah.
bits and pieces of them. I've been open about this.
Yeah.
I take little pieces.
I feel like men do that to me.
I feel like, yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like men
Single
single
white
white
female.
female me.
Yeah, I feel like it's true.
I'm just like, ugh.
But that's because you keep dating like
Game.
beards,
Yeah.
like men who want you to be their beards.
She just goes,
No rebuttal.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. Finish this sentence. I know I really like someone when.
I want to have a sleepover.
Aw.
I don't like having sleepovers.
Yeah, that's actually, I
That's a
relate
good
to
one.
that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I hate,
Get out of my bed.
yeah.
Don't invite me into your bed.
Yeah, you
Stay
don't get
away
to
from
see
me.
me with my Abu Ghraib mask on.
It's
Face
not even
mask
about
on.
that. I just don't
Oh, it's
like
for me
other
for
that. I
people's
know.
beds. And I
That's
don't want them
true.
in my bed. Less so. Actually, they can come in my bed. It's a little bit easier that way, but I don't
Yeah.
like sleeping in other people's spaces. But I remember when I first got together with my boyfriend, Frank, we were one of the first, we had only just like made out, I think, a couple times. But we were going to go on this, our friend's bachelorette party
I remember that.
trip. And I was going to stay in like the bunk bedroom with all my friends. And he was like, just sleep in the room with me. And I was like, I don't like sleepovers. And he was like, that's crazy. You're going to sleep in a bunk bed instead of like sleep in the room
Real
with me.
bed.
And we'd been friends for so long. It wasn't also that weird that we like hadn't really hooked up, and I would stay in the room with him because we liked each other. But it was so terrifying to me. And I remember, and I don't really sleep when I sleep next to people. Like it's hard for me to sleep
I'm the-
because
yeah,
I'm
I'm the
so
same way.
conscious that there's like another human being next
Yeah.
to me. And I remember I slept really well next to him. And that was like kind of like a sweet thing that made me think like, oh.
That's quite telling,
Yeah.
I think.
And then every time, and then I started sleeping at his house like constantly. Like I was always like, then I started having a hard time sleeping when he wasn't there. And now if he's out of town, I have to drug myself. I have to take like tons of
That's so
shit
sweet,
to
though.
sleep because I can't sleep without it.
It's wild. That's such a change from not wanting, because I can relate to that, not
Yeah.
wanting to like sleep in someone else.
Sleep
Unless
is
you
very
really-
intimate. Sleep is the most intimate thing.
You like wake up and you're just like,
I look like shit when I sleep. Like I look
too.
like I seriously, I'm not joking. Like I wear a hostage mask to sleep. I've shown it to Izzy.
It's crazy.
Every night I wear. It looks like I'm being tortured at Abu Ghraib. Like I'm not joking. Like it's a full thing that covers my entire
Like a
face.
gimp mask? You sleep in a
Yes.
gimp mask?
Yeah, I sleep with a gimp mask on
what
because
does it do?
it blocks out any sunlight. Zero sunlight.
I'm light sensitive too.
It's like I'm being taken to a secure location. I will not wake and on top of it too, I have blackout curtains taped to my windows, so it's like I'm the Unabomber. I sleep like I'm the Unabomber. There is no light in my room. It is pitch black. I am a vampiress.
That's good. Some good sleep though, honestly.
Yeah, and then I have like my hot pink like mouth garden, so it's like I'm not a sight to be seen in order to sleep. Like it's gnarly. Like
Yeah.
it's that it's a bit. I remember I told Izzy, I was like, yeah, I used to like whenever this guy's house, and I would like I brought the mask, and she was like, you slept with that, and I was like, wait, what? Like, is this something I need to be self-conscious about? Like, I didn't know that this
Sorry,
was like,
I just like
The queen of fearing vulnerability is like,
I'm like, well,
check
I
out my sleep mask.
Yeah.
My sleep gimp mask.
I have to wear my glasses when I, sleep anywhere because I have to take contacts out or just wear them. Let me see.
Oh, it's like
That
a
is-
headache mask.
that is
It's like one of those
crazy.
like headache sleeves. Oh my God, that's insane.
Robbing the house.
Yeah. It's a ski mask.
I buy them in bulk because you sweat in them and they make you break out. So I have to buy them in bulk.
Can you wash them?
No.
Jesus Christ. We need to get you an eye mask.
Your first mission as an environmentalist is to make a biodegradable,
I was thinking of
Gimp
that as you were
mask.
saying.
I
You
know.
throw them away. I'm like,
make a
the
biodegradable
problem.
gimp
I
mask.
don't. I know. I try not to throw them away. I honestly,
That's
what I'll
okay.
do is I wash them and then I give them to my dad.
Because men don't break out.
Yeah, men don't break out.
they actually don't. They have different skin.
no,
It
they have
sucks.
different skin. Yeah.
They rub themselves with bacon grease
Yeah.
And they're fine.
Like
and they sweat,
gasoline.
and then they wake up and they have like glass skin.
Yeah.
So mean.
Yeah.
Or so what I right now I have a few of them in my bed because they get cold, so they're nice. So I'll turn over
hold
and I'll
them?
just like
Like a teddy
yeah,
bear.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Have Have any of you ever had a person sleep over that sleeps with their eyes open?
Fuck no.
My mom's ex-boyfriend did. He was in
Oh
Vietnam.
my god. I had a girlfriend that the
not
first
laughing at
time
that,
she
I'm just, like,
slept over at
shocked.
my house, her eyes were open and I woke up and I thought she died.
It does.
I would think that
her mouth was
too.
open and her eyes, and I was like, holy shit, she fucking died in my bed. And anyway.
Yeah, it's really scary.
I've never
Scared the
even
fuck out
seen
of
someone
me.
sleep with
I've
their
never
eyes open.
seen anyone.
That would jar me.
I think that would be a red flag. That'd be a deal
He
breaker
had to sleep.
for me.
He had to sleep in a chair.
Actually,
Sometimes
who
sitting
do
up.
I care? My
Poor
mask
thing.
is on.
Yeah.
I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Intense.
So I came into the living room one day and he was sitting in a chair.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And I was like, Mama, what's going on? She was like, don't worry about it.
He's just napping.
Let me tell you a little something about a place called Vietnam.
But from Nam. Okay, when do you know you really like someone?
When I want to like talk about them to other people and I have to withhold it.
Ooh.
I have to like stop myself from, it's like what, Mean Girls coined as word vomit. Like bringing them up in anything that relates to them. That's how I know I've really.
Oh, that's
Someone's
a
like,
good
do you want to
one.
get burgers? And you're like, he loves burgers.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
He's on my mind. If he's on my mind, I'm down bad. I'm down really bad. Down good, whatever. No, nothing's bad.
Yeah, are you turning into me?
No. I'm scared of hating men. I don't know who I'd turn into if I.
Yeah.
No, I like liking people. I honestly the more I think about it, the more like I am meant to be like a yearner always.
How do I know when I like someone? I feel like it has to do.
You want to run them over with your car.
You're very
Yeah.
angry and upset and you're having a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, I'm
That's
having
what I've perceived.
I'm having a hard time and I'm frustrated that I'm thinking about them and like I want to talk to them and I'm frustrated. Yeah, I'm typically very frustrated. But sincerely, I'll say when I allow them to meet my parents. That's a huge thing for me that a lot of guys have been like, when can I come over? Because like everybody knows I'm so close with my parents because they are my best friends. And like I let, all my girlfriends come over and whatever, but I do not let guys come over. It's like a real boundary for me.
I'm that way too. I don't like, you will not meet my mom.
You can
But-
meet my mom if you're not faint of heart. Anyone can meet her.
Anyone.
Anyone.
No, it's a big boundary for me. And it's not even just meeting my parents, but it's like coming to my house.
Yeah.
Coming
Seeing
to
your
my-
space. That's your
It's
parents.
my
space
parents,
Too. That's
yeah.
very
Yeah.
vulnerable.
It's
That makes-
very
that makes
vulnerable.
sense. I get
When
that.
I feel safe enough to do that, that's when I know I really like you and like you've entered the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
If you're allowed in the Zan Manor and you meet the Savannah Cats, you've passed.
Zan Dynasty.
You've passed the Zan Dynasty. You've passed the. Did you know I was related to royalty?
Yeah, it's true.
You can look-
Wikipedia
I knew
page.
this.
Yeah, the Zan Dynasty in the 1700s. My great grandfather ruled Iran.
Wow.
But yeah, he's like a Renaissance king, like promoted art and
It's amazing.
That's really cool.
yeah, you can look it up. Zan
Just-
Dynasty
I will.
on,
That's amazing.
on Wikipedia. Yeah, it's very interesting.
I think this, just back to the original question, I think it says something really interesting about each of us.
Yeah,
Because I think for you, it's like you're so in your head. So it's like when your thoughts get taken over by someone. And then for you, it's like vulnerability. And for me, it's like a very lizard brain animalistic thing because I'm actually just like a very simple person. I'm like, I go sleep. I go sleep now. Good sleep.
you disturb sleep, no
Yeah.
good.
That's actually for me what it is. It's like I'm so cerebral that
Yeah.
anybody that gets me out of that place and like allows me to exist more as just like a
I go sleep.
physical person.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Makes
funny
sense for us.
Yeah,
It tracks.
yeah, it tracks. Being
Yeah.
vulnerable. Yeah, being in the space. All right, we'll wrap it up with a final question. Okay, this is a good one to end on. What about each of you is strange or unfamiliar? What about each of us is strange or unfamiliar to each other?
Like me saying, "What about you?" is stranger unfamiliar. Ooh, I might need a minute to think.
That's a tough one.
It is tough.
Very tough. Obviously, I think for you with me, it's like my ability to tell people my like the romantic stuff probably.
Yeah.
Is strange and unfamiliar.
Yeah. Well, and that also too, you're able to cut through my bullshit.
Oh, is it supposed to be in how we relate to each other, or like what we think of each other?
Yeah. So
Oh,
like
how we
so
relate to each
yeah.
other.
So
Okay.
like so what is strange and unfamiliar about you to me is that like you're able to cut through my bullshit when it comes to romantic stuff. That's new for me to have somebody
okay.
that's
Oh, I
like
see what you're saying.
that's like no. I know you feel this way. You think you feel this way, but no, it's this. And then also deliver it to me in a way like I still keep thinking about the way that you reframed it for me the other day, where you're like, this is a course. You need to approach this as a course. And that like literally in my brain, it was like a puzzle piece that just went click. And I was like, okay.
Your analysis, I think, is the way I've never experienced a friend or someone who is constantly just like in an analytical, like I know you're very tapped into your emotions, but you're also very good at thinking, especially with your friends and their problems. You're really
Yeah,
good at
I think
like
it's
mapping things out.
Well, I have a little filing cabinet inside my brain.
You do.
And I keep a dossier on each of you. And then when one of you has a problem, I go, and I pull out a file and I go, this is how she needs to be communicated with in this situation. And sometimes I grab the wrong file and you go, what? And I go, no, sorry.
your critical thinking when it comes to emotions is something that is, I think, is strange and unfamiliar because it's not something that I've ever experienced. I think like your ability to help me problem solve. That's what it is.
Yeah, and your emotional intelligence that mixes with the rationale is something that it's truly like channeling.
Yeah,
I love when this just turns into a flattery session.
Yeah, gassing you up.
And then I think with Izzy, with
reason.
you, it's like there's a level of like fun that I can have with you that's like I've never been able to have. Like you and I could literally just like we could literally be locked in an insane asylum with
Prisoners of war.
Yeah, with like straight
make it fun.
jackets and like we'd be bouncing off the walls
Thank
doing
you.
bits. Like that's what's strange and unfamiliar for me is that
I'm
like
a silly goose.
yeah, and we could literally be doing anything and having a good time.
Yeah. For me, with you, for you, Izzy, is your spontaneity and your like you are in the best way shameless. It like is mind blowing to me in these ways that nobody should ever experience shame. Like the stupid shit of like me making reservations and I'm like I don't want to sound dumb on the phone with this waiter that's never gonna remember me. Like you in the right way, like the ways that actually inhibit me on a daily basis that are so silly. Like that's the thing that mystifies me always. I'm like, how did you just do that?
Yeah, your bravery.
Yeah, you're extremely brave.
You.
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought of myself
in
like
these
that.
everyday ways that are like really crazy to me that like blow my mind.
You just have like there are some things about yourself that I think you are like that's just like what do you like you wouldn't even think twice about having that trait or quality. You're just like yeah duh like I do this thing, but it actually is quite it's brave. It is what it is. Like
thank you.
Yeah, and the spontaneity thing too.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like just the decision making, the swimming with sharks thing to this day. I'm like, are you an insane person? Are you a crazy
The
person
thing
in
is,
your brain?
I can recognize that at least and be like, wow, that's so crazy I did that. What a batshit move of mine. And then if I went to Oahu tomorrow, I would probably do it again.
Yeah.
On a whim, though. I'm
And
not going to plan
I've seen
ahead.
it now. I've seen it now. Like, but it's like for me, it's always funny because it's in the little things that it's interesting to me. Like, I don't know, walking down the street and it's like, oh, I wonder if it's this way or this way, and you go, oh, grab someone random and like, excuse me, which way is this?
Yeah.
Like those little tiny actions that for me, I might do that too, but I would hesitate and
Think
I'd wait
about
for the
it.
exact right person, and I would do a little numbers game,
Analyze.
of the right person to select. Whereas for you, it's more just like
Who's there?
straight to the chase. It's so interesting to me. And then you obviously your drive and organization is
Yes, that's exactly what I
Crazy.
was going to say.
That's so funny because I don't think myself as organized at
And
all.
extremely
The way your
organized.
mind works is crazy to me. When I saw you, because I've never seen you at work until the surf finals, really.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I was like, this is strange and unfamiliar. Because
Oh,
you
yeah.
could
strange
oscillate
and unfamiliar.
between so easily. It was like, there's no like line between
The
Jesse
Libra.
and work Jesse. It's just like you just move so fluidly. And I think
but it was different.
it
Like
was
it was
different.
it was
it was
different.
unfamiliar to me seeing you in a but it also inspires me and it makes me want to be more, God, I can't even find the words to describe how you work and operate. But even with this podcast, like I was sitting there looking at how many followers we have on Spotify and I was like, not that it was easy for you to do all this, but you did it with ease.
Yeah.
Aw.
And it's your
guys.
and also it's like you have the kind of drive where it's like, what, like I have a choice?
Exactly.
Which I think is the most important thing in
Exactly.
being successful is not looking at it as an option.
Yeah.
When you don't look
that
at it
is-
as an option.
You've
I think
perfectly put
that's-
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not even like,
Thank you
you
guys.
can't even simply say like girl bossing. It's so beyond that. It's like a way of operations. It honestly, I think some of it maybe you've always been like this, but maybe Capitol Hill, like being involved in politics at all, like put this kind of like automatic drive.
Yeah.
Like the cars, like on cruise control.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. I think my day job is what did it. I
Really?
think my day job
Yeah.
is what like really drove, because I like had this project in the last 6 months where I really just owned it by myself, and it kind of coincided perfectly with when us starting the podcast, and I had to start driving stuff so on my own, and it was such a learning curve that I was like, oh, if I can do this in something that feels much higher stakes, I can do this amazing fun project with my besties.
You
and
could
like,
do
why,
anything,
yeah,
Jessie.
why not?
I'm convinced. Like you could literally
Yeah.
take on any project of any scale and know how to operate it.
I could figure it out. I definitely
could
feel like
always-
I could figure it
You're
out.
really good at working with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've taken the skills from everything I've ever had to do that was like business oriented and had been like, and like in the filing cabinet way, been like, okay, I'm gonna save this in here for another day and be like, I'm gonna pull this out when I need it one day and then like use it for like analytics or like what, and just save it.
Just save it.
Just save it.
Do you know what's in my file cabinet?
What?
Pictures of animals.
I was gonna guess like a really stale joint you forgot was there.
That too. It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
You have to fish
And
that
you're
out.
like, wait, what is that? And then you're like, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. It's like all dry and like
Yeah,
crunchy,
yeah.
but I'm still gonna light it up, see what happens.
Yeah. Pull a little lint off of it. You're like,
Yeah.
it's still good.
It was like
and you
flattened
go and
by a
watch the
shoe.
sunset.
Go and watch the sunset. At the end of the day, I'm a simple girl. I might like read theory and shit, but I just want a sunset and a joint and like
Tea.
Yeah.
Tea. All right, you guys. Well, this has been so fun. Like, comment, subscribe.
go read Hardly Strangers.
Go
while
read
you're at
Hardly
it.
Strangers. It comes out. It'll be
It's
out
out.
by the time
It's out.
this goes out.
Go buy it right this second.
buy
Like
it.
click out. Go buy it.
We'll be linking it in the description of this episode as well as on YouTube. But please like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends about our podcast. That's the number one way that podcasts get around. Send a link to one of your favorite episodes to your friend and be like, hey, I think you'd really like this. As long as they'd like it. If they wouldn't, then don't do that. But
No, do it anyway.
it Oh,
yeah,
Honestly, I will take the haters. Direct them to me.
yeah, just see what they say.
See what they say.
But thank you guys so much for joining. Bye.